Hi, welcome to What Do You Need to Start? I already forgot. Oh, wait, this is episode 4. Never mind. Is this episode 4? Hi, welcome to What Do You Need to Start? Episode 4 with our special guest.
Girl, pause. You told me that. You said, girl, get together. Okay, now everybody needs to breathe and calm down.
Okay, take 2. Action. Hi, welcome to What Do You Need to Start? Episode 4 with our special guest.
Patricia.
Thank you so much for joining us, Patricia. Now, please let me and the audience know, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Patricia. I work for Fortune 100 company in the corporate America space doing social corporate responsibility outside of work. I'm married, have 2 wonderful children. I hold a bachelor's degree from DePaul University, an MBA from Loyola University, Chicago, involved in a couple of boards, do strategic advising, just a lot of like adulting leadership type of stuff, but it's super excited and honored to be here with you today.
Already mentioned some of your leadership positions. I consider you a leader, but do you consider yourself a leader?
Absolutely. And what I would tell people is just like, you have it as a student, you have it when you enter the workforce. Like leadership is more than just a title. So absolutely.
When you hear the phrase, what do you need to start? What do you think of?
You know what? Honestly, I think a mindset. I think just throughout my own lived experience, talking with other people, colleagues, even my kids, some of the things that kind of stop us is what we're telling ourselves. So what am I saying around my own ability to get started? How am I affirming myself and knowing that maybe I don't see the end of the road, but I see the first step? And how do I take that first step regardless of anything?
So how to get started, you think of mindset. Now, how do you use the answer you need to start being mindset in your own life, in your day-to-day, in your leadership positions?
Mm-hmm. And so it's the things and people I surround myself with. So an example of that is I'm just like huge on quotes. I have a journal that at the top of each page has scripture. I mean, it's just more than scripture. I have other cards. This one says, I am capable. And it does not stop there. Shout out to my coworker. Even some more stuff. Like it's really around like what you are telling yourself. So she gave me like these 40 cards to like crush your goals. And shout out, Black History Month 365, but like Langston Hughes says this quote, the only way to get a thing done is to start doing it. Then keep on doing it. And finally it's done. Right? Like, just keep on affirming myself and surrounding people who we're going to affirm each other to help us like start a new endeavor or have the courage to take on a new thing.
I definitely feel like I need to stay more consistent with the quotes. I feel like I'll find a good every now and then, but I do think when I'm consistent with it, it does shift the perspective of my day and how I go throughout it. So thanks for mentioning that. That's huge. What advice would you give anyone in their youth already in or considering leadership?
Don't downplay the leadership skills you already have, even as a young person, right? The leadership skills to keep your room clean, right? The leadership skills to doing things without having to be asked that are helpful around the house, or having integrity in doing your homework well, or having integrity in showing up well for like your sports teams or your clubs. Like you have, as a young person, you have leadership skills already. You may just need to hone them, understand what they are so that you can speak to them and speak proudly of those skills.
It is the little things. What advice or tips would you give someone any age considering already in leadership?
Yeah, so if I'm transitioning away from young people and I get to folks who are just older and they have what's kind of more traditional leadership skills, whether that's being a parent, that's being in the workforce, that's showing up well in any of your organization's clubs, religious affiliations, is you have to lift while you climb, period. You have to send the elevator back down and just continuing to keep that mentality so everybody can win.
You mentioned it briefly. For anybody that's in our audience how would you suggest they celebrate Black History Month?
Celebrate it every day. That's number
Period.
one. This Black History 365. So we celebrate it every day. And I think also finding those unsung heroes. I was asked, particularly around like Black history, women's history, like who do you want to celebrate? My mama, my sister, my kid. You know what I'm saying? Like Black history is not just about the people that kind of make it big, right? The Langston Hughes, the Octavia Butlers, the Meghan Markles, right? This is about every single person because we make up Black history. These people that, you know, are on my cards and on my quotes, they didn't have a name until they blew up, right? But they were still doing the work. We have to do the work in the everyday little things and highlight our awesomeness, highlight what makes us unique, highlight the power of melanin skin, right? Like just highlight all the things related to Black History 365 and just be a beacon of light for our community because now's the time. Now is the time.
Agreed. As we were chatting, I'm very curious on, because you've had an amazing career journey thus far. What would you say was one of the most challenging positions you've been in? What made it challenging and how did you overcome it?
All of them.
Whoa.
And because they were new, it was the newness of it that made it challenging at first. I consider myself to be somebody who is very ambitious and I would just raise my hand for anything. You know, one of my former leaders, come do the stretch assignment. I can't promise you no job. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of it, but come on. And I was like, okay, just right. Because I just believe in the power of new experiences. I know at the end of it, it's going to make a better, more rounded me in my personal and professional life.
Oh, so you mentioned personal and professional life. How would you describe that balance or like how to keep it as a leader?
Yeah, so balance is an interesting word. Because I think when you think of balance, you think of a 50-50 split, at least I do. And sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes my family needs me more. They always gonna need me more, but sometimes I need to give more to them than I can give to this other thing. And then the balance shifts. So it's really around integration, more than I would say like a 50-50 balance, because there'll be times, there are high drive times in my professional life. There are high drive times constantly in my personal life, and finding a way to balance both. It's more about, I think, integration than it is about balance.
I love that you brought that up. I seen something on LinkedIn and it was like all speeches every person needs to watch. And so one of them was with Shonda Rhimes. Everyone always asks me, how do I do it all? And she's like, I'll give this generic answer. But she's like, I'll answer honestly to y'all today. And she was just like, I don't do it all. If I'm writing a script in a room full of people, I'm probably missing something with my kids. If I'm with my kids, I'm probably missing an award ceremony. So just knowing that, I'm like, oh, wow. Like, okay, bet. It's more of that dynamic, or just being at peace with what you're missing while you're working at this, or, you know, vice versa, or just not even, yeah. How do you feel like, do you look at it as you're missing out, or is that's what it is? Like, this is what I'm doing right now, and this is what I need to be presently focused on.
I think of it as kind of what it is, and it's a trade-off, right? Missing, it's a trade-off. And so particularly as it relates to my family, definitely more than my work, I really try to lean into the fact that what I believe that I do is meaningful. I want my kids to believe that what I do is meaningful, so much so that, like, if I have the opportunity, my kids coming with me, so they see this is what I'm doing. If I have to be away, like if I have to, you know, travel for work, come, like here's the work that I'm doing. Here's the impact that I'm making. And so it's really just a trade-off. But I want, particularly for my family, to know while I'm trading off, nothing is more important than them. But, you know, we got to work. So.
Yes. Oh, well, this was wonderful. Any last words to the audience?
You got it. You got everything you need to start. And if you think you don't, think again. Surround yourself with people that will lift you up and help you reach those goals. And continue to pour into yourself if you don't have people to pour into you. So y'all got it. You got it already.
Thank you all so much for joining us for episode 4 of What Do You Need to Start? Stay tuned for episode 5.
None of it was recorded.
Imagine.